Welcome to the Super Awesome You. Coming to you on the Super Awesome Mix Podcast Network, I'm your host, Samra Abu-Selby, and each week I'll be covering the topic of motivation and of course be adding one song to the motivational mixtape week after week. You'll find links in the show notes for the playlist, and you can also follow us at Super Awesome Mix for more of our shows and content. If you listen on a player that allows you to review the show, please take a moment and leave a 5-star review. It helps grow the reach of the show and reach even more people. This week, I will be covering the topic of not limiting yourself before you even start something. I have a really bad habit of immediately putting boundaries on myself whenever I'm beginning something new. What I mean by that is I start off already limiting what I think I'm capable of. If you've been listening to the show for a little while now, you'll know that I'm training for a marathon. I have run several races so far, and what's really cool is I'm running with a single organization, New York Roadrunners, and they put you into different corrals for start times and different groups to kind of run with people that are at your pace. I have worked my way up now from letter I when I started into letter E, which is really exciting as I climb the alphabet and get faster and more confident in my runs. There is a group A, of course, as you can imagine, but there's also a group AA, which is really, really fast human beings at the front of the line that just take off. When I ran my half marathon, as I was coming around the halfway mark for myself and finishing mile 6 or 7, I was passed by basically gazelles in human form that were finishing the full marathon at the exact point that I was just rounding out 50% of it. It's astounding. And so as I was running the other day, I was thinking about what goal I have, because whenever I first started running in these races, my goal was actually to reach Group F. When I hit F, I wanted to reach Group E. Now that I'm in E, I'm of course looking at Group D. But as I was thinking about this, I was like, well, I'll never hit AA, so I'm not gonna set that as a goal. And I immediately had to interrupt my thought and say, wait, why? Why would I want to discount my ability to get there? And of course, all these different voices started appearing in my mind, voices of, kind of naysayers and what would other people think. And everyone's going to tell you, oh, you're way too old to get that fast. You should have started when you were young. These people have been training their whole lives. You have no chance. Why would you even bother to set a goal that you're never going to complete? And I'm sure we've all had very similar kind of negative thoughts that immediately start appearing when we set a big, audacious goal. And I really did wonder, why am I limiting myself? I strongly believe if I really, truly wanted to reach the AA group, I could. Granted, it might require that I quit my job and I train full time and I radically change my diet and I research running all the time and work with coaches, and it might require a whole lot more than what I'm currently capable of giving with my other things in my life that I'm doing. But I really don't think I should believe that it's never possible. It really got me thinking about how whenever we start goals, we tend to immediately put caps. We put a ceiling on top of our heads. Whenever we started this podcast, it was really easy to just say, oh, we'll launch it and I'm sure only like 10 people are going to listen to it. Again, you have to ask yourself, why are you thinking that way? Why go after something that you think isn't even going to be worth your own time? It comes to this feeling of really needing to believe in yourself and how quickly our brains are unfortunately going to not believe in yourself. This comes back to something we talked about earlier in the season, which is really our fear center, our amygdala. It's an almond-sized part of our brain. It's like one of the most rudimentary parts of our brain. It keeps us alive, and it has helped keep humans alive for centuries, millennia, tons and tons of time, since the beginning of us being humans. Its whole role is to look for danger and keep us comfortable, keep us safe. But we've evolved long past needing to run away from lions and saber-toothed tigers and woolly mammoths and other tribes attacking us, for the most part, right? Certainly if you're living in an industrialized nation and you're doing things like working a 9-to-5 job or sitting at your computer all day, working a remote job, or you live in the suburbs, you got a family, whatever the case may be, modern life does not have, thankfully, nearly as many threats as life had hundreds, thousands of years ago. But the brain is very slow to evolve, and our fear center is still there. So the amygdala really is freaked out all the time, and it will send signals to your brain the second you start to do something that is kind of scary. And it's really just trying to keep you safe. Because when you separate yourself out from the crowd and you do something that's a little different than what you're used to, that is a risk. It's absolutely a risk. In my example, if I wanted to really get into group AA and be at the top of every single race, I would probably have to change my life radically in order to do that. So the fear center is stepping in and being like, whoa, slow down, dude. What are you doing? That's crazy talk. Are you really going to change your entire life to get up there? And in this case, no, because again, I have other goals and priorities. And so I don't think I'm going to be going for AA, but I also really don't want to start off my desire to get faster and to keep moving up through the corrals and to be more confident in my runs by just saying, oh, that'll never happen for me. I have come around, it took me a really long time, but I've come around to this idea that if you set big goals, then you take big actions. And if you set small goals, you tend to take small actions. As we're building this podcast and as we're trying to grow our company, and I'm thinking about everything that I want Super Awesome Mix to be, and I'm working with Matt and Jen, and we have all these conversations, I tend to be more on the timid side. I'm thinking, oh, I'd like to grow it to a small little success story. And as a result, whenever I'm faced with a decision, I tend to make small decisions and things that kind of get us there a little bit closer. And I look at the big leaps and the big risks as big scary things, and I don't want to do those. And no, that's never going to work, and why would it? And that amygdala kicks in and starts reining me back. But now I'm really believing, why not go for that giant goal? Why not set out to build a large media company like Virgin, and what Richard Branson did? Even if I'm 50% wrong, even if I'm 90% wrong, if I could build 10% of what Richard Branson built, I would consider myself a massive success, and I would be having so much fun. And I think that's kind of the magic of allowing yourself to dream big. You have to believe in yourself. You have to not limit yourself. That doesn't mean that you need to set really large goals. I don't necessarily need to build a Virgin clone, but that also doesn't mean that I shouldn't discount my ability to do so. If I wanted to do that, I should believe that I could, that I have the capability of doing it, and that the only thing that would stand in my way is myself. This week's song is very much in line with this level of thinking, and it's a new release by NF, and it is called Hope. I absolutely love NF's music. I think lyrically he speaks so much truth. He really digs deep and shares a lot of his own personal successes and fears and trials and challenges, and everything that he's going through really shine through in how he delivers his songs and what he writes about. This one song in particular, I've had on repeat ever since I discovered it just a couple of days ago. And I could probably read you the entire song, but I'll save you from doing that. My favorite line here is when he's asking himself, what's the definition of success? And he has all these things that he's kind of listing out. And he says, creating something no one else can, being brave enough to dream big, grinding when you're told to just quit, giving more when you got nothing left. And it's a person that'll take a chance on something they were told could never happen. And a person that can see the bright side through the dark times when there ain't one. And again, I could keep reading. I think these lyrics are so powerful, and they really motivate me to keep going, because often our goals are big and they are scary. And there's a lot of reasons that it's not going to work. And there's a lot of change that's going to need to happen in order for us to achieve them. But they are possible if we really want them. If we believe in ourselves, other people will begin to believe in us, and the doors will open. I hope you take this message of hope and having faith in yourself forward, and I hope it helps you get a little bit closer to your goals week after week. So until next time, stay super awesome, because you already are.